There are knives everyone knows by name: the Bowie, the Kabar, the Kukri. Blades that carved their place into history books, immortalized in movies, whispered about in legends. But there's one knife the world almost forgot, not because it failed, but because it was too perfect at what it was designed to do, and lives quickly and silently. In the darkest chapters of World War II, a blade was forged for missions no one was supposed to survive, or even admit happened. A knife so deadly that its very existence blurred the line between soldier and assassin. Soldiers who carried it were trained not only to fight, but to vanish like shadows, leaving no witnesses and no trace. Its name is rarely spoken outside certain circles, but among those who know, it's whispered with a mix of awe and dread: the Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife. Today, we're diving into the untold story of the blade that turned men into ghosts and why powerful forces once tried to keep its true legacy hidden from the world. By the winter of 1940, the world was drowning in chaos. German forces had stormed through Europe with terrifying speed, and Britain stood alone, battered and gasping for air. But while bombs rained from the sky, an even deadlier war was unfolding in the shadows. A war of spies, sabotage, and silent death. Winston Churchill knew victory wouldn't come from armies alone. It would come from daring men slipping behind enemy lines, cutting railway lines, eliminating key targets, sowing terror in the enemy's rear. The problem? Guns were loud. Even a silenced pistol wasn't silent enough for close encounters where a single shout could blow an entire mission. Britain needed a weapon that could vanish into a pocket, yet strike with lethal precision, a blade designed purely for swift, silent kills. So a secret question echoed through the halls of the newly formed Special Operations Executive. Could a knife, in the right hands, become a weapon powerful enough to change the outcome of a world war? The answer arrived in steel and blood. Behind every legendary weapon, there's a story of innovation born from desperation. The Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife was designed by two men with battlefield experience: William E. Fairbairn and Eric E. Sykes, both former officers of the Shanghai Municipal Police. They knew close combat wasn't about brute force. It was about precision, speed, and silence. Drawing on years of hand-to-hand combat training in the most dangerous parts of Shanghai, they created a weapon optimized for assassination and sabotage. Missions. The blade was slender, double-edged, just under 7 inches long, perfect for swift, deadly thrusts. Its lightweight design allowed operatives to carry it discreetly during high-risk missions behind enemy lines. But what made it truly terrifying was not just its physical design. It was the secret training and brutal techniques taught alongside it. These techniques, classified for decades, transformed ordinary soldiers into lethal shadows. The knife wasn't just a tool, it was a symbol of a hidden war fought in silence. Unlike the standard issue weapons soldiers carried openly into battle, the Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife was a weapon of shadows. Manufactured in limited numbers, it was distributed exclusively to specially trained operatives of the British Special Operations Executive, the Commandos, and later the SAS. These soldiers operated deep behind enemy lines, tasked with sabotage, espionage, and silent elimination of high-value targets. The knife's existence was never advertised, and official records often avoided mentioning it by name. Training with the knife was secretive and intense. Operatives were taught how to use it in hand-to-hand combat, focusing on rapid, lethal strikes aimed at vital areas: throat, heart, abdomen. The blade's slim design made it perfect for close quarters, allowing for swift, silent kills. Soldiers called it the silent shadow or simply the blade, because once it was drawn, no word would ever be spoken again. The Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife wasn't just a symbol, it was baptized in blood. Operatives wielding this Blade crawled through dense forests, infiltrated enemy camps, and executed missions where failure meant death or capture. In the dense jungles of Southeast Asia, commandos used it to silently eliminate sentries guarding vital supply routes. In the dark alleyways of occupied Europe, OSS agents and resistance fighters trusted the blade to end fights before they began. Each strike was precise, swift, and merciless. The knife became an extension of the soldier's will, silent, deadly, and unforgiving. Many operatives never spoke of their missions. Their knives were all that testified to the battles fought. In silence, it was a weapon that demanded respect and instilled fear. Despite its deadly effectiveness, the true nature of the Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife was shrouded in secrecy. Official military reports rarely mentioned the blade, and when they did, details were vague and heavily redacted. Many commanders were uneasy about the psychological weight the knife carried. It was not just a weapon, but a symbol of the dark. Silent war fought in shadows. Documents detailing the brutal training methods, assassination techniques, and covert missions were classified for decades, buried deep within secret archives. Veterans who carried the knife often found it difficult to talk about their experiences, burdened by memories that were both heroic and haunting. The blade's legend grew not only from its design and use, but from the silence imposed around it, an unspoken pact to keep the deadliest stories locked away. As the war ended, countless crates containing Fairbairn-Sykes knives were shipped back to secret storage facilities. Some were lost, others vanished without explanation. Rumors persist of entire shipments disappearing, locked away in undisclosed locations or destroyed to protect the secrecy of covert operations. Collectors and historians have long searched for these lost crates, believing they hold not only blades but classified documents that could reveal the true extent of the knife's role in the war. The scarcity of original knives only adds to their mystique. Each surviving blade is a rare relic, a tangible connection to a hidden chapter of history. The Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife remains a symbol not just of silent combat, but of secrets carefully guarded and stories half told. Though decades have passed since World War II, the Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife continues to inspire fascination and intrigue. Modern special forces around the world study its design and techniques, adapting its lessons for today's covert operations. Online forums buzz with discussions about its legendary status and secret training methods once buried in classified archives. Some claim that copies of these knives are still issued in Black Ops missions, their true purpose hidden beneath layers of secrecy. Collectors pay tens of thousands for authentic pieces, and veterans' tailies fuel conspiracy theories about missions never acknowledged. The blade's shadow looms large proof that the silent wars of the past still echo in today's shadows, reminding us that some weapons never lose their edge. The legend of the Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife lives on beyond the battlefields. Collectors treat each surviving blade as a priceless artifact, a relic of a war fought in silence and shadows. Veterans, many of whom carried the knife in deadly missions, still share hushed stories in dimly lit rooms, memories tinged with both pride and haunting sorrow. Online communities dissect every detail of the knife's design and history, fueling a global fascination with its mystique. For some, it's more than a weapon. It's a symbol of sacrifice, secrecy, and the fine line between heroism and the darkness of war. The blade reminds us that history is not only written in battles won, but also in the silent acts that never made the headlines. Not everyone can get their hands on an original Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife. It's rare, expensive, and highly collectible. But for those who admire its iconic design and deadly efficiency, there are several affordable alternatives you can find easily on Amazon today. These knives replicate the slim, double-edged blade and balanced handle, capturing the spirit of the original while fitting modern needs. From tactical fighting knives to survival blades, brands like Smith & Wesson, Cold Steel, and United Cutlery offer models inspired by the Fairbairn-Sykes. They're perfect for collectors on a budget, outdoor enthusiasts, or anyone wanting taste of history without breaking the bank. Whether you're gearing up for your next adventure or adding a unique piece to your collection, these Amazon finds deliver style, functionality, and a nod to one of history's most secretive blades, the story of the Fairbairn-Sykes Fighting Knife reminds us that some weapons are more than steel. They are shadows of history, silent witnesses to battles fought in the dark. Though much remains classified or lost, the blade's legacy endures, sharper than ever. The past may try to bury these secrets, but they refuse to stay hidden. If you want to uncover more hidden truths and forgotten stories from the shadows of history, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Because here, we dive deep where others fear to look into the blades, the battles, and the secrets that shape our world. This is just the beginning.